So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video of Mars in the ascendant for Scorpio ascendant people, as in what happens when Mars is in the ascendant while it rules the ascendant itself and rules the sixth house. And as always, if you do not know if you have this particular position, what sign it's in, what nakshatra is in, along with all your astrological details, check out the links here, astrology.com, where you'll find my books, reports, consultations, and link to my academy, Magha Vedic Astrology Academy, where I'm currently teaching the Nandi Nadi course. And also, I have a new option on my website, option 13, where I also help you with this one unique thing. You will see. So, Mars in the ascendant in Scorpio. So, you got to understand one thing. See, Mars, when it's in the first house, Mars is the significator of Dhiya. It's a Dhiya Karka, right? Originally, you have the original trines, where the sign of Aries, Lord, Mars becomes the Dhiya Karka. The fifth house, Lord Sun becomes the Atma Karka. The ninth house, Lord Jupiter becomes the Jiva Karka. Right? So it's about the physical self, the creation of you. And the thing is, with this person, usually you will see that their entrance into this world happened through some struggle. Arriving into this world happened through some struggle. So you will see that this particular individual would have either given strong labor, hard pregnancy, C-section. Okay. They would have even come through surprise. Meaning, like, for example, if the mother was expecting to have the delivery date a week later, everything is normal, suddenly the mother will break her water. Why? Because it's Scorpio. It's surprise. It is that sudden thing. So what happens is this person arrives suddenly into the world. Unexpectedly, they announce their arrival into this world. Meaning the parents weren't expecting. Mother wasn't expecting to be pregnant, but then she becomes pregnant. But one thing you also see with this particular Mars in the first house can naturally make a person very much focused on their life, their discipline, their structure, their, ever-ending routine. But now that Mars is in Scorpio and Mars is the sixth lord, so it becomes very neutral. And you can't say this Mars is good or bad unless we're looking at the other planets, unless we're seeing what is happening around Mars in the birth chart. So in such cases, you will see that in order for you to get a transformation, see, Scorpio is about transformation. How is it that the change is going to come in? Everybody says, my life is still, my life is this, nothing is happening. There's like no better things that are occurring, which means you're going to need to have the help of the eighth house. So, and what do? You run away from the eighth house. Oh my God, it's a scary house. I don't want to be there. But in life, people who see that transformation, where they go from being poor to being rich, right? Being laid off to getting suddenly the best job in their life, it is transformation. So you can't be afraid of that. But see, because the original ascendant lord, Aries, that sign goes into the sixth house. It shows that only through transformation and sudden change through the sixth house, this person will find their own change in life. Which means that either some health illness, some disease issue, or the enemy will transform this person. So the thing is, this person, if you feel like, okay, I have these enemies that are, again, it's very subjective to think it's enemies. Enemies is not like the bad guy in the movie. Enemies could be your work rivals. Enemy sometimes is yourself, because the self is in the sixth house. One will naturally will doubt themselves. But the thing is, through the sixth house is how this person is going to find that change in their life. When the enemy attacks, it changes them. A disease that happens suddenly changes their perspective about life. That now that they are able to grow, where the old self dies and the new self emerges. And then, like I said, Aries is the sixth house. One, most of the time, becomes their own worst enemy. Whether it's through their self consciousness, self esteem, confidence, depression, whatever it is, they become their own enemy. They'll create, because see, Scorpio is this sign of the hidden power. This sign which we don't know what is inside. So what happens is with Mars, they're very strong and determined, very strong individual, but internally they have these unknown fears. Sometimes the fear can be very real in our life, but this is not just from one planet. It's by the combination and the series of strings that are made, so we can see what exactly is this person's fear. But here we can see that if when Mars is in the ascendant, there's this natural fear, like people who are hypochondriacs. I have to focus on the body. I have to do this for the body. If I don't do this, this will happen. If I don't do this, that will happen. Like, especially with Mars in the 12th and the ascendant, you will see these people will have a huge collection of pharmacy in their home, whether it's health supplements, whether it's actual medication. On the other hand, it is this Mars that will also create either struggles with the father or to the father. There's that challenge that comes in, both father and mother. Why? Because when you have the Scorpio rising, where's Mars debilitated? Ninth house, right? And at the same time, if you look at the aspect of Mars, see, of course, aspect is a special aspect. Drishti is always trine. But here the aspect is on the 4th, also on the 7th. So sometimes the self destructive nature of a person will affect one's marriage, affect one's home, and deal with the issues related to the father or to the father, or the issues that are happening with the father will also be the catalyst of them to change their luck in life. But the thing is, with this Mars in Scorpio in the ascendant, there is a naturally, you can say, God gifted or previously lived karma experience of lust. There's this strong urge to get that lust out. This is why it's important for Mars in Scorpio to actually not hold back their, you know, intimate feelings. They should find that way to become more intimate, finding a partner to become intimate, because that energy has to be exerted, because Mars is energy. So either this person, when they're, you will see, like, their anger rises when the intimacy is not there, or their anger rises when they're not physically involved in some activity, whether it's playing sports, whether if let's say Mars is with Ketu, they should do yoga. They actually become great yoga teachers with Ketu being involved with Mars. But the thing is, here these things become very important because otherwise it builds up, and because it's Scorpio, it comes out at the most unknown moment. And the thing is, with especially Mars in Scorpio, there are instances, especially from past life, where there would have been certain intimate relationship that could have occurred with a particular person who may have been tied into another relationship. And because of the situation they would have dealt with, is why they will deal with that frustration till 28th year, till Mars matures. But of course, with Mars in the ascendant as a Diya Karka, such people like to get physically involved in things. They want to be physically involved, whether it's wanting to become a police officer with Saturn involvement, wanting to go into Air Force with Ketu and Jupiter involvement, wanting to even go into security with Rahu's involvement. Like anywhere where they can find that physical and that psychological analysis at the same time. Because Scorpio is that psychological analysis. Scorpio does show that one wants to deal with covert operations, one wants to protect, and they want to protect through their physical diya. They want to protect through that significance of the body that is given to them. So it's a very interesting Mars. And the thing is, usually one of the things they should avoid, because you can't avoid if somebody else doesn't like you and wants to become your enemy. Okay, well, this is your problem. But when it's something self exerted, that's what will create issues in them. Issues with the health, with the body, with the fear, is when they get into debts. Debts, when they get into like debts, heavy debts, it naturally brings about all those Scorpio, that negative side of Scorpio up. They should avoid being out of debt as much as possible. Because again, sixth house is the Shadripus, right? It is the rogue, Ren, Shatru. Okay. And yeah, sometimes you will see even maternal aunts and uncles can become Shatru of the person, meaning the enemy of the person. And usually this is more seen in a Eastern cultural side more than Western culture, because in Western culture you barely even know your own siblings, because it's like everybody just wants to go far apart. They will see their cousins, aunts, and uncles once every year or something. But in places like India, Middle East, Asia, South Asia, North Asia, it's all about that close family knit no matter what. No matter how modern the society becomes, there's always that ties with our cousins and near and dear ones. And this is where those interactions will also cause that stress for such people. Okay, but when it comes to self motivation and determination, this is the person that can literally self motivate themselves to achieve things, to achieve that success in life. Some people will require help of someone else. They're just like, oh, this thing happened. I just got defeated by these people. That's it. I'm never going to let this happen. And that means from this day onwards, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm telling you. Don't be afraid of the challenges in your life, because they're supposed to come for a change. It's like, for example, you want to meet Shiva. And for that, you're going to have to go to Mount Kailash. You try to climb Kailash, which is a feat in itself, which is impossible. You reach to some cave. Now in that cave, you're seeing all these entities that are trying to block you, scare you, make you fearful. But then you have to keep going down, down, deep into the mountain tunnel. And that's where you meet Shiva. So these things that you deal with ultimately lead you to that strength of Shiva. that accomplishment of Shiva, that Mahayogi. Okay. So, anyway, guys, this was my analysis of Mars and the ascendant for Scorpio ascendant people. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss these type of videos. So, if you want to know where your Mars is placed along with all your astrological details, check out the links here, astrology.com. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye bye.